Let's speak the truth. I mean, since Ronna McDaniel took over as chairwoman of the RNC in 2017, we have lost 2018, 2020, 2022, no red wave that never came. We got trounced last night in 2023. And I think that we have to have accountability in our party. For that matter, Ron, if you want to come on stage tonight, you want to look the GOP voters in the eye and tell them you resign, I will yield my time to you.
Well, Ronna McDaniel, the aforementioned, joins us now. Ronna, we saw you right at the end of the debate run up onto the stage and address Vivek Ramaswamy directly. May we ask what you said to him?
Do you know what? That wasn't me, actually, Stuart. There must have been a lookalike. I've heard this reporting. I didn't speak to Vivek. I have not spoken to him since those comments.
My apologies.
You know, listen, he's at 4%. He needs a headline. I'm going to say what I've been saying to Republicans all along. Our headline should be about Joe Biden, the border, fentanyl, crime, terrible things that are happening in this country that the American people are looking to our party for solutions. But I also will stand by my record as RNC chair.
What is going on, guys? Hey, I want to come back to, and I want to bring a story about what is going on right now with Ronna McDaniel, the RNC chairwoman. And the other night during the debate, Vivek Ramaswamy called her out. I mean, big time. He said he would give up whatever time he has left on the stage to give to her so she can resign publicly. And she has been on Fox News a couple of times that I've seen since then, you know, defending herself, saying that, you know, the focus should not be on me. Oh, no. The focus should be on Joe Biden, the southern border, you know, fentanyl, you know, Israel. It should not be on me. And, you know, again, that's the way people are when they don't want to have accountability for what they're doing or what they're not doing. But guys, if you would, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Thanks.
You want to come on stage tonight, you want to look the GOP voters in the eye and tell them you resign, I will yield my time to you.
All right, joining me now, Ronna McDaniel, chairwoman of the Republican National Committee. Ronna, thanks so much for being with us. Vivek and others are saying that under your leadership, Republicans have lost election after election, and positing the question, you know, why should you retain your job given the track record of the party under your leadership? And to that, what do you say?
Well, first, I'm going to continue to focus on Joe Biden and Democrats. And I think there was a moment missed during that debate by Vivek to talk about the fact that we still have 13 American hostages in Israel, the fact that for the first time ever in the history of either party, we had a Jewish co-sponsor for a debate, and we are in very perilous times in our country. And I do think Republican voters, and I hear this echoed all the time, are tired of the circular firing squad within our party, and they're saying, can we please talk about Joe Biden and the Democrats and the border and fentanyl and crime and what's happening to our kids and inflation. But I'll definitely defend my record as chair. Listen,
yeah, I mean, Ronna, I agree with you. Let me just say, I mean, all that you just said, I couldn't agree with more. But and you're right. I mean, obviously that should be a key focus. But I know you believe in accountability. You talk about it all the time. I mean, everyone. I mean, I'm accountable. You're right.
Some accountability.
Okay, that's what I asked you, and you went into another.
Take a moment and be honest about what is happening. I mean, again, she's upset because Vivek dared to call her out. He dares to hold her to the fire. You know, she's saying that he had the chance to talk about all these different things, but he didn't. He did talk about all these different things. He talked about me, and that upsets me. You know, number one, I think all of us know what's happening at the southern border, what's happening with Joe Biden, what's happening with the fentanyl crisis. Every single one of us, we know that. And Vivek, he's talked about that over and over and over again. He's talked about it. But nobody will talk about what is happening in the Republican Party. And he called her out. And he said, hey, look, if you will publicly resign, I will give you my time. But of course, she won't. But the fact of the matter is, man, he called her out. He called her out, and she doesn't like it. And she wants to distract you. So he held her feet to the fire. And that's what he did, man. And she's upset about that. And what she did was she does what left us all the damn time, which is virtue signal. That, that Vivek, man, he could have talked about all these different things, but he chose not to. He chose instead to talk about me. And I'm upset about that. That's really what the issue is. I'm upset because he talked about me. But guys, I wanted to bring you a little bit from the PBT podcast with Patrick David. And Patrick David talking to Vivek Ramaswamy about this.
How was dinner with your family and Ronna McDaniel last night?
It was, well, she said she refused to pay the bill because she's not, I'm not going to get another cent from the RNC.
Yeah, I saw that.
Can you
Can
believe
she
this?
say that? Can she say that?
I mean, not legally. I mean, if you think about your duty is not your money.
Yeah.
It's not your money, right? And so, I don't know if you think people know what we're already
This is the
talking
story
about.
you're talking about right here,
Yeah,
right?
people already know what we're talking about.
He's an asshole,
Yeah.
total asshole.
So just so people, if they didn't watch the debate the other night or whatever, I am a believer in accountability. Okay, so this woman is appointed chair of the RNC, Republican National Committee, in 2017. Let's just do the math. It's not that complicated. 2018, loss. 2020, loss. 2022, no red wave. 2023, bad trouncing. Then Fox calls me after the second debate and Chris Christie and say, hey, would you spar with Chris Christie or have a dialogue, open dialogue, since the second debate, I mean, the unspoken reality is that was useless. So I said I would do it. The night before, Ronna McDaniel calls me on my cell phone and says, you will be disqualified from the next debate if you participate in this discussion with Chris Christie. I said, Ronna, how does this advance the interests of the GOP? Like the GOP voter base. How is the GOP voter base better off if we hear less debate between the candidates? Explain that to me. She has no good explanation, but regardless, that raised some of my recent sparring with her in public. But this has nothing to do with me and her. What happened on the night before the debate was the Republican Party nationally got trounced. And everybody, if
Destroyed. Kentucky.
totally destroyed. Virginia, I mean, kind of Ohio, you just go, these are red states, okay? Kentucky and Ohio, certainly. And so I'm walking in, this is the morning after that trouncing. This is the chairwoman of the Republican National Committee. She's coming, she's like, hey, how are you? I'm like, I'll give you a handshake. She's like, how you doing? I said, not that well, given that last night didn't go very well. She said, what happened last night?
Like oblivious.
Is she saying it jokingly?
No, she's saying it almost angrily, right? Because I was like, the last night didn't go well. So she's challenging me. She says, well, what happened last night?
Oh, okay.
Like, what happened last night? I don't know what happened last night. Tell me what happened last night. Yeah. And I'm just like, this is the person who's accountable for running the Republican Party. I said, well, last election, she said, we have nothing to do with that.
Really?
I run the National Party. These are state races. We have nothing to do with that. So where's and then says and then starts to like escalate her voice and says, I refuse to fall on the sword for this one. I refuse to fall on the sword for this one. This is not my fault.
She cannot say that, hey, I'm the RNC chairperson, so guess what? You're not going to get another dime from us. Not one more dime. I mean, that's very, very, very dishonest. I mean, the money comes through you, but not from you. You have got to understand that that's not your money. That's the Republican money. That's the Republican committee money. But, I mean, she believes that's hers. And she can dictate things the way she wants to dictate them. And that's not the way things work. We have truly got to understand, just like the national general election needs to be fair and free, so does the primary. And we need to give equal resources and equal airtime and everything else. You know, again, based on whether or not you're a big runner, one of the front runners in the primary. And definitely Vivek is, man. I think a lot of people like Vivek. they would like to see somebody like that in office, man. He reminds a lot of people of a younger version of Trump. And one less likely sometimes to stick his foot in his mouth. And I think a lot of people, they like that. They truly like Ramaswamy. And I gotta admit, I like him too. You know, I'm definitely a Trump guy. But, I mean, my number two by far be Ramaswamy. We have got to get that. And the more he speaks on things, on the other night during the debate, I mean, I got to be honest with you guys, I don't think I've ever seen that before, ever. And I was pretty impressed by the way he handled himself. I was. But, I mean, also the fact that McDaniel didn't want, you know, Chris Christie and Vivek, you know, debating on Fox News. I mean, we truly get to understand what that's about. I mean, I think what that's about is that Chris Christie is part of the establishment and Ramaswamy is not. And Ramaswamy would kill Christie in a debate. He would. We have truly get to understand that. I mean, that would weaken Christie and strengthen Ramaswamy. And that's something that they don't want. I mean, again, they're trying to protect the establishment. So again, guys, we have truly get to understand what's going on. And this woman, she believes that she is God.
You son of a.